Hey everybody, this is Back to the Basics with Maul, and we're going to start out on the Fyffe farm. And this is my son Chris. This is Jackson, my grandson. That's Brianna, my daughter-in-law. And Jocelyn's got the phone. I'm getting ready to take that from her. Hey Jocelyn. Okay, so what Chris is doing right now is making raised beds. You can see he's got, well, you got 5 already made, Chris, and then
yeah, this will be 7 for us.
And he's making this one, and he's getting ready to make another one. So
I'll talk about the purpose of what we're doing out here. So the reason to make a raised bed is a few. One, you don't have all the weeds because you can put the soil in here. 2, you can control your soil that you have. Some people have bad soil. You may have clay soil that doesn't do too well. You may have too sandy soil depending on where you're living at. But you can amend this however you want. You can get it from a farm that you know has good soil. You can go to the Home Depot, Lowe's, and buy organic garden soil from there, which is what we've done. And then we've added our own compost that we have here that we make on our property to it. So the nice thing about that is I can check my pH level. If I don't like it, I can adjust it easy. So when we started out here in the ground, we couldn't grow tomatoes out here. There was a lot of peppers. We didn't do no good out there. It was too much clay, not enough nutrients. So what we've had to do was use these to do all of our sandy soil that needed good drainage. And the clay holds on to your water. So if you got a lot of clay in there, you're not going to get good drainage. Tomatoes did not like that. Peppers don't like that. So in these kind of beds, when you got that garden soil, they drain a lot. So I may go out and water that garden out there maybe once every 2 weeks, even when it's dry, because it holds so much water. I'm out here watering in the summertime every day because the drainage is that good that you're going to have to be out there doing that. But you can grow anything you want in here because of that. Some things that's going to need watered more, some not as much, but you get to control everything by doing this. If you're older, it's nice because you're not going to have as much weeding. You can literally come in here and you can just pull it out, pluck it out. Nothing's going to have deep roots if you stay on it like what you're going to have out there. There's no hose that you're going to need doing this. So it's very low maintenance. It's a little bit of work at first to get it done, but these are not hard to make. I probably spend in materials about $30 for each bed. And then if you sell these, if you try to buy these online, you're probably going to pay about $200. These aren't the cheap chintzy ones. I mean, these are heavy duty. They're going to last. Only thing we buy treated is our 4x4s for the posts. This is untreated because we put stain on there. That way it kind of looks nicer for what we're doing, but it still makes it waterproof for you. These will last years before you're going to have to worry about replacing any of the wood. Eventually it's wood, so you'll have some wood rot and you will have to end up replacing it, but not for a long time. If you wanted to get all pressure treated, you could do that. It'll last you longer. I'm a little cheaper, so I took that route to do it.
So Chris, how big is one of them?
These are 4 foot by 8 foot long. And then I have 2x6s that I'm using so that these are all a foot high. And the reason I do that is you don't have to till this bed or do anything to it. On these ones over here, I've put some tarp down over there to kill the grass. But when I did the ones behind there last year, I didn't have time to kill the grass. So what I did is I just put some newspaper down. Newspaper is organic, it'll naturally decompose, it kills it. But by putting a foot of soil in here, sunlight's not going to penetrate down to the bottom enough for any weeds to grow anyway. So if I had to, at this time of year when it's not grown up, the grass, I could just put the soil straight in here and would be okay. I'll probably still lay some tarps down because it's early March and I got some time before I'm going to use these. So if you got about 4 weeks, it'll kill anything that's under there if you just put some tarps down on it. So that's the full bed assembled. All you're doing is cutting your 4x4 posts into foot sections, and then it's simple after that. We pre-drill so that we don't split our woods, and then as you can see here, what we're doing, the easiest way I found is to start with your long pieces first, get them lined up and drilled in, and then put on your sides. We've tried to, or your end pieces. We tried to do it the other way and it's very difficult. This makes it a lot easier, so we've kind of learned from the mistakes. But this is very simple. Anybody could do this. My 10-year-old earlier today, he cut all this. He pre-drilled everything. And now we're just going through and screwing it together. And then after that, we'll just be putting the stain on it, and then we'll put our tarps in to go ahead and kill the grass. And then we'll be ready to fill with soil and put our compost in there to amend the soil, and then we'll be ready to plant.
Is there a reason for the stain on there? Does that kind of
Well,
protect
yes,
them with the weather?
twofold. That's for one, just to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing, but for two, that will waterproof it. So this is out here in the elements, it's going to get weather damage, but that will waterproof it just like you would a deck. It's no different. We use a deck stain on this. Same purpose, same type of stain, however you'd want to do it, but yeah, that's why we use it, and it helps.
So this would be good for somebody like I have. I have a very small place, and Chris made one of these for me, and I just put some cucumbers and some zucchini in there, but I think I really overcrowded mine. So one of these would be good for what, Chris? If you're just wanting like maybe tomatoes?
If you're doing tomatoes, if you do, we could do about 5 tomatoes in here with proper spacing. You don't want it to be too crowded, but you would put one on each one of your ends and one in the middle, and you could easily get 5 large tomato plants. That's how we've done it. The other way we've done it, and you can mix and match, we've had 3 tomato plants in the middle, and then we would do peppers surrounding it because they're all in the Solanaceae family, same family. They're going to take pretty much the same nutrients, same water levels, so peppers and tomatoes go hand in hand. Also means they're susceptible to the same types of pests and diseases, but whatever you would have with tomatoes, you'll have anyway with your peppers. So that's one way to do it. You can do your cool crops in here. You can get a bunch of spinach, plant your lettuce around there. We had a ton of carrots. You can get a lot of carrots out of one of these beds. That's another thing this is great for. The clay soil, when the carrot's trying to come down, if it don't have freedom to move, it's going to stunt the growth as well as make it deformed, and you're just not going to get as much out of it. But carrots do great in here because there's nothing to stop them from penetrating, so they can penetrate really deep. And that's what's nice. So if you choose to rototill under here, it's going to be even easier for your crops to get down if you have deep carrots. But because this is a foot deep, you're fine. If you only do about 6 inches, you are going to need to rototill under there. But because I'm doing a foot deep, it's good enough. Any carrots I've had no problem that they haven't made it any further than the foot deep that's there. So the other thing you see here is we got the little T-posts. The reason we do that is each one of these in the summertime, we wrap with chicken wire, and that's to keep any rabbits out of it. My chickens free range here, and if not, they treat this thing. They love to get in here and dig around, which is great this time of year, but not so great when you have crops in there and they're destroying your crops. So, but it's easy to do. Another thing you can do, if you want to come down here, Mom, I'll show them this, is we put in some little pieces of PVC here, and then we have PVC that we're going to put in to be able to make hoops. So you can take these and turn them into